This video is going to be slightly different from all my previous videos, in a sense that it won't be as much about me trying to explain something as about me telling some things about myself for those who are interested in that. So if you're hoping to get some useful information or insights about something, I have to disappoint you. This video is not for you. And now is as good of a time as any to turn this video off and go do something productive instead. Anyway, I see any interaction between any human beings as some sort of a contract where you provide something and expect to get something in return, even if that something is just an acknowledgement that you exist or request to be left alone. Thus, I feel that I have an obligation to explain what this channel is, what it's not, how it started, and what I hope to achieve with it. It won't come to you as a surprise if I say that I don't see myself as a productive member of a society. Because I don't think that our society is a productive entity that has a goal and moves towards that goal. It's just a collection of various groups of people that fight and compete with each other. And being a useful part of a useless thing is still useless. However, presenting some vague unifying goal and trying to fight for that goal without a well-developed action plan is even worse than that. It is wasteful at best and destructive at worst. Since finding or developing a functional action plan is not something one person can do on its own, I feel that I have to learn to communicate in a way that people could find flaws in my ideas and not the way I present them. And at the same time, I have to learn how to pinpoint flaws in other people's ideas so that they could better explain them to me and I would understand why they are right or they would understand how they are wrong. Therefore, I decided to make some videos about random topics to check if I'm capable of expressing myself in a coherent and intelligible manner. And maybe even find some people who would help me develop my ideas or someone who would need my help developing theirs. And I'm not talking about armchair philosophy here. I would love to eventually be involved in some political or social movement that would provide hope for the people who've lost their hope in our society or humanity in general. And you can call me idealist if you want, but I see it as a selfish pursuit of belonging, agency, and purpose. I don't have these things, and I find it difficult to function without them. For a very long time I thought that I have to figure out the meaning of life and then act accordingly. But the longer I searched for it, the more obvious it became that either such thing does not exist, or at very least it is unknowable to human beings. So, faced with the fact that there is no universal goal that could unite everyone and provide a common direction for the whole humanity, I had to find another unifying feature. And as far as I know, the only thing that everybody can agree on is suffering. Nobody wants to suffer. Even people who deliberately harm themselves do this to mask some other kind of suffering that they perceive to be bigger than physical pain. That's why all my videos are more or less connected to suffering and have at least a vague hint how the situation could be improved. I hope one day this project will lead me to the situation where the things I do to survive and the things I do to help someone will become one and the same. I know that it sounds like a wishful thinking, but I don't have any better ideas right now, so I'll stick to that. Okay, so having in mind everything that I've already said, it naturally raises the question, why am I so inactive in comment section, Facebook, Reddit, and all the other social media platforms? And what's up with these huge gaps between my uploads? And the answer to that is, I've never learned to socialize. I don't know how to respond to comments that don't have a specific question in them. And even if they have, I don't know what to do if I don't have a productive answer. And even worse than that, when I start thinking about such platforms as Facebook, for example, I cannot shake this existential dread that comes from realization that people don't care about the world. They are preoccupied with the things they ate, places they visited, and the cuteness of kittens, puppies, and babies. It just makes me feel that I should not exist in this world. And since I don't have an actionable exit strategy, I try to avoid everything that reminds me of that. I'm slowly learning to accept the world the way it is, and slowly learning to bullshit because it is a very useful skill to have in this world. But it is still difficult for me to do or say anything if I don't see how it benefits me or anyone else. And if you think that any response is better than no response because it shows people that someone listens to them, I can assure you, I've read every single one of your comments, most of them several times. I just didn't find anything productive to say about it. And in situations where I have nothing productive to offer, I believe that the most productive thing I can do is to not bother anyone. That's why every time I feel that I'm a useless part of a useless world, I simply lock myself inside, turn off my phone and Wi-Fi, and play some video games. So the next time you won't hear anything from me for a relatively long time, assume that I'm drinking brandy and playing Civilization. Or trying to rewrite the script for my next video for the 20th time and still thinking that it's a useless piece of shit not worth anybody's time or attention. Either one is possible. If I ever decide to quit YouTube, or more than just YouTube, I'll let you know beforehand. Until then, feel free to bother me with anything you want to bother me with. My time is as worthless as anybody else's time, and your idea or problem is as important as anybody else's idea or problem. Oh, and one more thing. If you don't feel like being polite to me, you don't have to. I know that feeling when you want to rant, but you control yourself because people tend to take things personally. Here, you don't have to do that. I'll be happy to hear your unfiltered opinion about me, my stupid ideas, or anything else that bothers you. Who knows, maybe even something productive will come out of this. Actually, I don't think that I'm being polite either. I don't want to deliberately insult anyone, but I don't think that it's my problem if someone gets insulted. I think that everyone should have a right to say anything they want without fear of insulting someone, as long as that someone has a choice to safely ignore you. So, leave a comment below and see how many insults you can come up with.